Okay, now, just like in the one that I previous made, this is the front cover. When you open it up, you're going to see the page that has the two little flaps, and then the pockets here, and then these sections here are also large enough to hold an ATC. Then when this opens this direction, it's just going to be two plain pages. Then when this opens, then we have our next two flap pages with the pockets on the inside. So you just want to make sure you keep your configuration in the right order, or you will end up with a flap in the wrong direction. How do I know that? Because I did that actually on the first one of these that I did. And I took it apart and actually used the pieces in something else. So now, these three little joining tabs that we made from the 1 inch by 4 inch piece of cardstock, you want to trim your angles so that the tip of your piece here rests just inside that width of the pocket. Because what this is going to do is this is going to be the joining tab for these two sections. And we're going to... It's not a complicated piece to make. It's just, if you get all of your parts cut to begin with, and I even went ahead and cut all of my little layering elements, it just makes it go so much quicker. So when you join this hinge to, and see when I flip it over, now my flap is going in the right direction. So I know my joining tab or hinge is in the right place on this envelope to then join it to this one. But you want that to be even with the piece of cardstock that you're attaching it to. In other words, don't inset it like that and have cardstock showing. You want that to be flush. So now this is going to join to this one, just like that. So we're going to put the glue here. And then I like to stand these pieces up, have this edge flush on my work surface, and then once they've like kind of bonded, flip it around and make sure that it's flush. So see how even that is going to end up being? And then you're going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to attach my next hinge. And get it even. Make sure that's even. I think I had a dot of glue got on that from something else I was doing. So now we want to make sure that this next page, because this is our back page, that everything is going in the right direction. So when this folds over on there. So I just open the little flaps up because it makes it easier to work with. Then put your glue. And then line this one up right where it's supposed to be. And you'll see how flush and even that is, and that's the reason it's a no spine mini. And you can also just make it as a book, is because all of this is glued together and becomes the spine, so you don't actually need any sort of like spine to wrap around that. And then there's our little book. There's our center, and then the back section. So now what I do is I attach, and like I said, I had all of my pieces cut. I attach each of these coverings, and I'll show you on this one. And because we're going to attach an ATC pocket, just one of the little plastic sleeves on the front of this to be an additional place to store an ATC, you want to remember that when you do your little, whatever little hole divot you're going to work with, don't go in any deeper than about 1/4 inch. That's as much space as you're going to have. So I'm just going to eyeball this and punch that little section out. Then when I glue, now my pages are flopping. When I glue all of this down, then I had another ATC here. My ATC will slide right up in there. Then there's just enough thumb pull room that I can pull out the one that'll be in the pocket. So then I've just put glue on these joining tabs. And press that into place. And then just continue doing that through the rest of your book. Once you have all of your pattern paper layers on all your sections and you've done your little thumb pull sections, then glued these into place, then I'll come back and I'll show you how I put the little clear pockets on these sections here.